All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It is me, Just Be Audrey Elaine. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. And make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified of when a video is up. My journal process. I am coming on tonight to speak a little bit of like, man, I keep saying it. The power is so much in our voices and in our names, and we are worth so much more. So, how about today? I had opened up one of my books that I read from, and it's basically about intentional speaking out, and going literally on God's word. And I'm like, man, you truly have a way of placing things back into our lives for us to get it at the appropriate time. So I was just talking with my therapist today about just, man, I am so happy that I found someone that I can speak out to. And it is so wonderful because it helps me find more and more of me. I love the fact that I come on here and I speak out here. This is like therapy for me too. And I love the fact of how things we don't even know is happening, God blocks and don't even have it come to us at all. Because I had got some things that I didn't even know happened. And I didn't even go into it to even research why would I research something? It didn't happen. This is what I mean about we have to not only gear up for war, we got to show up for war. Even though we have already won, you still have to come to war ready to fight, because things happen and God truly protects us from it. Truly protects us from it. You have no clue. Today just was one of them days where I sat strong and hard and confident in his promises. And it was so really good for me because on Sunday, my son and I, well, my kids and I were driving to go to get something from the store. And it was double rainbows outside. And I was like, take a picture of that. That is just a beautiful rainbow. Like, I mean, you could see the brightness of the colors and everything. It never even clicked to me how the rainbow is God promised. And then on top of that, my son is like, Mom, do you see that? And I'm like, yeah, I see the rainbow. It's beautiful. He like, no, look over. And I look over and it's a double rainbow. And actually, no, so let me clear it up. I told my son, look over, it's a double rainbow. And we all like kind of look. Now, mind you, I'm driving. Thank God for his grace. But there's literally no one around us. But thank goodness we were able to get the picture and still be safe. And I'm like, so look, it's a double. Because where I was driving in the car, you know, you have that blind spot right there. But I can see it. And all I could think about, because I've been thinking about my birthdays these last couple of weeks since the beginning of August. Like, God, it's a beginning. It's a new beginning. It's something new that you are doing in my life. It's something new. And then for Saturday is my peaceful day of I get off of work and I make sure I spend it with my children, even though it's only a little bit of hours. I make sure I spend it with them. And to have the rainbows be like, oh man, that's something, had me go and look it up. Of course, you know I look it up. And I know it's God promises. And it was in Genesis 9, 13 through 17. When Noah, you know, got on land and God did that arch, that rainbow. There's promises that this won't happen again. And this is what I'm saying, it. This won't happen again. I really need to read more into it. But like basically, this won't happen again. This flood of flooding the land and flooding out flesh won't happen again. And it was just amazing for that process to actually be within the Bible. That is just God promises of how He does things. And all I could think about was my birthday and just the celebration of life for it for me, and just the double rainbow things of two. I just was like, thank you, God, because it's a newness of life that really is coming for me, and it's already here. I can honestly say, my speech, my thinking, my heart, my everything, literally now relies and is all on God. And I, I just said, man, it is so amazing because I'm like, God, I am seeing things for the first time. I am hearing um, my voice for the first time, and it had me write some things down. And I put in here just experiences that I already kind of spoke out and told you about, how breathing through my nostrils, and just life, just great things, because I believe we have to write it down. We go back and we like see where God, this was truly you in all, truly you in all. And it had me go over when I'm saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for better in my life. Thank you for better in removing bitter. Thank you for everything you're doing. For God, I thank you so much. I am somebody. I have a voice. I will be seen and heard. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard what you are doing in my life. And I will praise you. And no, soon as I wrote that, other things have been coming. I forgot all about the picture that I had to, well, my son took for me. Um, and it got me into like, God, you have something for me. This has just been on my mind lately. You have something for me. And then today in therapy, talking with my therapist and just going over it, like it's not my life just impacted. It's my family's life. My children are going through, what they're going through. But it stops here. It stops here with me. I am breaking the chain. I am showing up for this fight, and I'm fighting. I'm fighting hard. Things just coming up, and I told him like things that I can't even really see them, because before I even see them, it's shut down in like the social media apps. It's like I don't even know how you would call them. Like, you know, I have this thing on my phone where it blocks like calls from anywhere. Like, I don't know, I don't know how they do it, but it blocks things from me. And I am just like, wow. So I have no words at times like this other than to say thank you, God. Thank you, God. It gets me to, man, I'm so happy that you have me have a voice to myself, that I hear me speak out, that I speak up, that I give out. And it had me go in today and write some things down. So I told you guys I used my gather box, gather bin, gather wall. That one's yesterday. These ones are all today. So I wrote a couple things to myself in my conversation corner. This is where I have all of my conversations. And all I can think about is, I'm not going to read this one to you yet, only because that's for a later time. That's well, no, I can say it. Bitter but sweet. We have to go through the bitter before it gets sweet. We have to go through some bitter before it gets sweet. And that's where it was when I wrote this down today of God. I mean, Audrey Lane is better, not bitter. And how the two just ran together because I wrote this out, what, a couple days ago, and then I wrote this out today. And like I said, God has a way of bringing things back because, yeah, I don't know. But I thank God for bitterness just going away because our lives do get bitter. We go through some crazy stuff. We go through some crazy stuff. And then the next thing you know, it gets better. And it got me. I was writing out and joking around about Sour Patch Kids, like how, you eating the candy and it's sour at first, and then comes the sweetness. And all I could think about my life has been bittersweet. This last year, I am so grateful for it. My eyes got truly open. 2020 literally gave me 2020 vision. Gave me 2020 vision for some things that's like, man, uh, thank God for clarity. And I'm going to write that in my Facebook. Thank God for clarity. Because I would not have been able to see this a while ago. Me asking God to reveal me to me was the transformation kickoff. I didn't even know that that's what it was. Me truly asking him to do that was, okay, now you can be transformed. And I see things a whole lot different now. I see things a lot from a standpoint of gratefulness, humility, and love. And call it crazy because I had someone say a little bit of some crazy bitter stuff of why, how do you love your enemies? How do you do that? Like, are you just saying it? No, I can't tell you anything other than we just gotta do it. I don't know. I asked myself that at first too. Am I just saying this to say it, God? I fear you, so I want to make sure I'm saying it. But one thing he knows is our heart. I don't know where I got to this calmness from. I cannot tell you other than God. He's doing it. You really gotta love your enemies. I can't explain it any deeper. I can't tell you how I got here other than trust. God has it. One, I was tired of fighting a battle that wasn't meant for me. And someone told me this too. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, things will change. And I didn't grasp it then. I couldn't get it, what they were saying. I actually need to go back and thank this person. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, things will change for you. And you may not get it right now because it's a lot that you're going through. But trust me, you'll get it. You'll get it. I don't have time to lose focus and stay in a place that really, I know what bitter and crazy gets you. And if I want to rise and move above from that, I can't stay there. You got to pray hard. You got to pray hard and pray with a loving heart. And if you don't know how to do that, ask God. Because it was hard for me at first. But it just happened. It just happened. And I've learned to just really speak out my truth and talk with him right. Why lie? It's hard. But before you know it, it won't be so hard for you. It won't be so hard for you. Ask God for discernment. Ask him as you're going through this that he gives you peace. He gives you joy. He calms your brain. Go through every last emotion and feeling. Trust me, you will be better for it. You will be better for it. Not bitter, better for it. And just get into I am someone, I have a voice, I will be seen, I will be heard. That lets me know I am seen, I am heard. For someone to reach out and say that, it's wonderful. I thank God because before I started anything, I prayed, and I pray when I get on here every night. And I always say, God, I want participators, not spectators. And He's been blocking them. He's been blocking them. And I thank Him for that. I don't even go and try to investigate what happened and what's going on. That will be me losing focus on what the end goal is for me. I'm on a mission, so I cannot afford to go on. It didn't work. It didn't come to my attention, so go forth. That's what we have to do. Don't stop to try to figure out something that's not meant for you to figure out. It's meant for you to keep on going. And I am so grateful for God. Nobody can sit here and tell me different. I mean, when I tell you judgment comes on, it comes on. But I'm learning, like I said, God, give me discernment to see it before it actually even comes. I see them coming. I see it coming and them coming. And I still handle myself like God tells me to. Still gotta love them. Love them and keep on moving. We don't have to. And one of my things, it was saying of how you can begin to show love. How is it? The way we show love is by, literally for me, I had to ask God, show me how to love. Show me how to love when it hurts. And it got me to, and I wrote it down today. God, I am going to love even when it hurts. I'm going to love even when it's hard to love. We have to. We have to. Don't sit there and beat yourself up about a process of loving your enemies and loving something that you feel like is not worth loving, that they're not going to change, or the situation won't change. You love regardless. Love regardless. Keep on loving. And thank God for the process, because He is blocking all things that is not of Him from your life. So think positive. Stay positive. You are going to see and hear God's voice through it all. Remember, yes, remember, the rejection was God's protection. So we don't have to worry about what was rejecting, whether it was a person rejecting us, places, things coming up within, our lives. Any rejection really is God's protection for us. I don't, to the point, I cannot focus on that. I have to focus on what I'm here for. If I'm still asking God to reveal more of me to myself, so I can go out here and appropriately carry the weight you need me to carry, God, I can't lose focus and want to worry about that. I have to stay focused on what I'm asking God to do in my life. If I'm asking you to transform me into your image, that's exactly what He's doing, because I wouldn't have been able to do this a while ago. I wouldn't have been able to actually have that kind of thinking to be like, whoop, that's not for me, keep on going forth. I would have then turned into Inspector Gadget trying to figure out what was going on. I can't do that now. That's not for me to go and do. I don't need to investigate. The only thing I go and stay in investigation is God's word. I got to digest this down for me. I need more of this in my life. I gotta learn it and live it, and that's what I have to do. Don't lose focus, guys, because the enemy will set all kinds of traps for you to get off your game, because he knows your promise. He knows God promised for you. So he's going to want to throw all kind of things up in the game so that you can lose focus. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Man, and don't worry too much about, like, wow, I want to know what God is doing. I will tell you this. I find it out better now that I don't need to know what you're doing. I just know that you're doing. I don't need to know what you're doing. I just know that you are doing, God. He's been doing some things like, man, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have to be able, with the discernment God is giving you, to see it and block it. Loved ones or not loved ones, friends, foes, everything you can name of, you can block it. That's the reason why I believe God has us in a lone state right now. We won't be there forever. I am grasping and getting friendships coming into my life, like real ones now. People who literally stop before they say anything of a request or any of that. How are you doing? And I actually stop conversations with people when they call me to be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Stop. How are you doing? So people know how to literally approach me, and I know how to approach them. Stop with the racing mind. I know you may need something, that's possible, but how are you doing? How are you truly doing? How can I be of service to you today? And I did that today with someone. This lady walks up and down my street all the time because the store is like around from my home. And I just make sure I always speak with her and love on her. And when she seen me, it stopped her right then and there, because she's going through something, and she knew just the fact that I will stop to hear her out got a load off of her, to the point she was crying, and I didn't know how to say it, but I told her, I'm saying this in love. You don't have to cry to me, but I want you to cry to get it out. You don't have to cry to be like, I'm so sorry I'm crying, I just want somebody to listen. No, cry, shed your tears. Stop trying to be strong, because she's like, people don't listen to her. I'm listening. Cry. Do that. It's a good thing in us shedding tears and crying. It really is. It really is. It's a good thing. It got me to like, God, this gotta be you. I wouldn't know how to respond before, but God said in the appropriate time, and it was appropriate today. I knew she needed something, the way she stopped, and she just needed someone to listen. And thank God. I'm going to ask you guys, I won't say her name, but pray for mamas. Pray for mamas, because that's what she calls everybody, and I call her that back. Mamas, how you doing? Pray for mamas. She just needs someone to pray for her. Pray for peace. Pray for peace. We all need peace. We all need joy. We all need love. Just say mamas. God know her. All you gotta do is say, God, touch mamas. This lady is a wonderful lady. And what really makes me get onto, everything of love, I think that's a lot of what everybody may be lacking. Now, COVID, well, and that's what I say, COVID, with 2020, because 20, then 20, COVID got us seeing ourselves and seeing ourselves in a different, wonderful light. It came hard at first, to not knowing what it was, knowing what is this going on. But being cooped up got us to see ourselves. And in seeing ourselves, allow us to go out there and really help others. The best way to help others is by really helping ourselves get real with one another, get real with ourselves, get real with God, and embrace things. And now we can go out there and love. Especially, it starts with loving God and loving ourselves. Because a lot of us love others, but really are hurting inside. We got to get our lives together first. I told my therapist, I love the fact that, yes, I turned selfishness around to self-love. To make sure that I was loving God. He showed me how to love myself. Because it started with him. When I tell you, the breaking was so revealing. I need you to trust me, Audrey Elaine. I need you to know I have you, Audrey Elaine. That trust is something. I wrote that today. I wrote a couple notes of God, I trust you. Man, I thank you for the breaking. I will keep repeating it. I thank him for it. I wrote it in one of my other books somewhere around here today of I'm an ant. I had to learn to let you break me because it's breaking the ground that I was on, and it gave me a necessary trust. That's where I got the word ant from, a necessary trust. Man, we have to trust God that all of this breaking is for a reason. I know I speak a lot about breaking and a lot about, trusting God and all of that. But what else is there to do? At least for me, he'll give me the words to say. A lot of my stuff is so real for me. But I am aware that other people do listen to it. But I want you to listen to it and ask God for discernment through it all for you. Trust God. I'm telling you, he is working some miracles within your life. The devil does not want us to have discernment, because if we start viewing things for how God knows it is for us, and we start seeing it like God sees it in our life, then we become worthy. Then we become ants, unnecessary trust in him. And the devil doesn't want that. He wants us to be wandering around aimlessly, wandering around empty, wandering around with anger, wandering around incomplete, feeling like, oh yeah, I got this. And are you strong? Or are you strong and mighty and suited for God? Because there's a difference. I'm knowing that. Strong in ignorance and arrogance, and strong in just, oh my God, pride is different from being strong suited and being with God. Totally different. Two different things. Humility comes a long way in God's strength. It does. Man, I thank God for everything, all the breaking, all of that, for the blocking, for the revealing, for him, for his grace. And that's truly what it is, his grace. I thank him for it all. Man, just the turnaround. We are in a turnaround. I'm going to stop saying it like, it's coming. It's here. It's here. And if you're new to this journal process, go back and watch them. Go back so you can start your journal process. But start it today. Start writing out your life. Start writing out what you expect out of it. Because God is waiting for you to find who you are. He's going to reveal you. Start living in you. Start living in your newness. It's here. Man, I thank him so much for everything that was old is now new. I thank him for the flood. I thank him for the flood, flooding everything out that did not need to come along. That did not need to come along with us. They don't need to come. It don't need to come. The idols that we were on, they need to stay where they are. Thank God for the flood, for him actually flooding everything out and opening up your eyes so when you got out, your eyes can see only him. And you better praise and worship him in it all, because there was nobody but him. Man, I am sitting here and I keep getting my attention to this candle I have burning. And it's burning away just all kinds of things. And you would think that, man, how is that? I was saying to God, how is it you can have something burning, but then a flood of water coming, and it's just, what is the two? They can't exist at the same time, because water puts out fire. And I can't tell you what it is. I haven't got word back on it. Maybe when God gives it to me, that might be what I be. Not maybe, that'll be what I write. I don't want to speak for him. I don't. Because I remember being down in a hot place with him. And then burning off just things off of me. And then being, wow, I don't know if this is it. But I was talking about my birth and being like literally born again, being baptized and born again. Now, I haven't actually been submerged down into water for it, because I got baptized before for reasons that really weren't really reasons for me to get baptized. But now, how about I got baptized without it being, you know, how you would think a baptism go? God truly transformed me and opened up my eyes to some things. Right where I'm like, God, a new beginning is happening. A new Audrey Lane is here. And the baptism for me was literally a breath and then a covering. A breath and then a covering. For the first time, I get to mark a elevation spot for me. The first time, this Sunday, August 22nd, 2021, was the first time in over 2 years, definitely a year. If we mark it from a year, let's say that a year, that I did not go up for prayer. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not telling you, if you need prayer, you go. You go. But I felt so sure-footed in God that he tells me now, you're covered in that area. You learned in that area. Leave room for those who need to come up to me. How about this? You're going to be praying for them. You're going to be praying for them. Because you are strong-suited now. You have me. People are going to be seeing where you were broken and frail and fragile, and they'll be able to recover because you have recovered. You have overcome. So where you were going up for prayer, needing a prayer, you are going to be the one praying over, because I'm going to come out of you, Audrey Lane, for you to speak to people through me. And that starts here. And when he sees fit to do it for me in other places, because I prayed for the young lady today, I did. I didn't used to do that. I always was like, I gotta be prayed over. I gotta be prayed for. I need somebody to speak into my life through you, God. No. For him to be able to do that is amazing. So maybe he will reveal more and more of the baptism, the fire and the water, and how it goes together. Burning off flesh and renewing. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him. When it comes, it comes. I feel that may be possibly it, because it just came to my head. And it's so funny, because I was writing like, God, you seem to bring everything to me. So that's maybe what it is. Burning off that oldness and bringing in freshness. The water actually brings in growth. Water brings in growth. And we got to remember to keep God first in it all. You are not alone. You have people here that can help you through this process. You can have people help you through this process. So I thank you guys so much for being a part of my process. It's been, man, altering. You guys have a great evening. Love yourself. Love God. Truly, he's transforming you into his image. What he has for you. His promises. You guys have a great evening. I thank you so much for you. I thank you so much for you. I see you. I see you. You guys have a good evening. I'll be back on, God willing, tomorrow with you guys. And I thank you so much. We're going to lift our hands and say Jesus and go with God. You guys, I love you. Bye now.